First Chronicles chapter 25. David and the officers of the army also set apart for the service the sons of Asaph, and of Heman, and of Jeduthun, who should prophesy with lyres, harps, and cymbals. The list of those who did the work and of their duties was: of the sons of Asaph, Zakur, Joseph, Nethaniah, and Azarellah, sons of Asaph, under the direction of Asaph, who prophesied under the direction of the king. Of Jeduthun, the sons of Jeduthun, Gedaliah, Zeri, Jesiah, Shammai, Hashabiah, and Mattithani, 6, under the direction of their father Jeduthun, who prophesied with the lyre in thanksgiving and praise to the Lord. Of Heman, the sons of Heman, Bechiah, Mattaniah, Uzziel, Shebuel, and Jerimoth, Hananiah, Hanani, Eliathah, Gidalti, and Romati-Ezer, Joshbekashan, Molathi, Hothir, Mahazioth. All these were the sons of Heman, the king's seer, according to the promise of God to exalt him. For God had given Heman 14 sons and 3 daughters. They were all under the direction of their father for the music in the house of the Lord, with cymbals, harps, and lyres, for the service of the house of God. Asaph, Jeduthun, and Heman were under the order of the king. They and their kindred, who were trained in singing to the Lord, all of whom were skillful, numbered 288. And they cast lots for their duties, small and great, teacher and pupil alike. The first lot fell for Asaph to Joseph, the second to Gedaliah, to him and his brothers and his sons, 12. The third to Zakur, his sons and his brothers, 12. The fourth to Isri, his sons and his brothers, 12. The fifth to Nethaniah, his sons and his brothers, 12. The sixth to Bechiah, his sons and his brothers, 12. The seventh to Jesharelah, his sons and his brothers, 12. The eighth to Jeshiah, his sons and his brothers, 12. The ninth to Mattaniah, his sons and his brothers, 12. The 10th to Shimei, his sons and his brothers, 12. The 11th to Azarel, his sons and his brothers, 12. The 12th to Hashabiah, his sons and his brothers, 12. To the 13th, Shubael, his sons and his brothers, 12. To the 14th, Mattithiah, his sons and his brothers, 12. To the 15th, to Jeremoth, his sons and his brothers, 12. To the 16th, to Hananiah, his sons and his brothers, 12. To the 17th, Joshbekasha, his sons and his brothers, 12. To the 18th, to Hanani, his sons and his brothers, 12. To the 19th, Malothi, his sons and his brothers, 12. To the 20th, Eliathah, his sons and his brothers 12. To the 21st, Hothir, his sons and his brothers 12. To the 22nd, Gidalti, his sons and his brothers 12. To the 23rd, Mahazoath, his sons and his brothers 12. To the 24th, Romati-Ezer, his sons and his brothers 12. 1 Chronicles chapter 26. As for the divisions of the gatekeepers, of the Korahites, Meshelemiah, son of Kor, of the sons of Asaph. Meshelemiah had sons: Zechariah the firstborn, Jediel the second, Zebediah the third, Jathniel the fourth, Elam the fifth, Jehonashan the sixth, Elihonai the seventh. Obed-Edom had sons: Shemaiah the firstborn, Jehozabad the second, Joah the third, Sakar the fourth, Nethanel the fifth, Amiel the sixth, Issachar the seventh, Pelethai the eighth, for God blessed him. Also to his son Shemaiah sons were born who exercised authority in their ancestral houses, for they were men of great ability. The sons of Shemaiah: Othni, Rephael, Obed, Elzabad, whose brothers were able men, Elihu and Shemachiah. All these, sons of Obed-Edom, with their sons and brothers, were able men qualified for the service. 62 of Obed-Edom. Meshelemiah had sons and brothers, able men, 18. Hosah of the sons of Merari had sons: Shimri the chief, for though he was not the firstborn, his father made him chief. Hilkiah the second, Tebaliah the third, Zechariah the fourth. All the sons and brothers of Hosah, total 13. These divisions of the gatekeepers, corresponding to their leaders, had duties, just as their kindred did, ministering in all the house of the Lord. And they cast lots by ancestral houses, small and great alike, for their gates. The lot for the east fell to Shelemiah. They cast lots also for his son Zechariah, a prudent counselor, and his lot came out for the north. Obed-Edom's came out for the south, and to his sons was allotted the storehouse. For Shuppim and Hoshea it came out for the west, at the gate of Shalecheth on the ascending road. God corresponded to God. On the east there were 6 Levites each day, on the north 4 each day, on the south 4 each day, as well as 2 and 2 at the storehouse. And for the colonnade, on the west there were 4 at the road, and 2 at the colonnade. These were the divisions of the gatekeepers among the Korahites and the sons of Merari. And of the Levites, Ahijah had charge of the treasuries of the house of God, and the treasuries of the dedicated gifts. The sons of Ladan, the sons of the Gershonites belonging to Ladan, the heads of the families belonging to Ladan the Gershonite: Jehieli. The sons of Jehieli, Zethem and his brother Joel, were in charge of the treasuries of the house of the Lord. Of the Amramites, the Izharites, the Hebronites, and the Uzzielites, Shebuel son of Gershom, son of Moses, was chief officer in charge of the treasuries. His brothers from Eleazar were his son Rebiah, his son Jeshiah, his son Joram, his son Zichri, and his son Shelomoth. This Shelomoth and his brothers were in charge of all the treasuries of the dedicated gifts that King David and the heads of families and the officers of the thousands and the hundreds and the commanders of the army had dedicated. From booty won in battles they dedicated gifts for the maintenance of the house of the Lord. Also all that Samuel the seer and Saul the son of Kish and Abner son of Ner and Joab son of Zeruiah had dedicated. All dedicated gifts were in the charge of Shelomoth and his brothers. Of the Izharites, Chenaniah and his sons were appointed to outside duties for Israel as officers and judges. Of the Hebronites, Hashabiah and his brothers, 1,700 men of ability, had oversight of Israel west of the Jordan for all the work of the Lord and for the service of the king. Of the Hebronites, Jerijah was chief of the Hebronites. In the 40th year of David's reign, search was made of whatever genealogy or family, and men of great ability among them were found at Jazer in Gilead. King David appointed him and his brothers 2,700 men of ability, heads of families, to have oversight of the Reubenites, the Gadites, and the half-tribe of the Manassites, for everything pertaining to God and for the affairs of the king. 1 Chronicles chapter 27. This is the list of people of Israel, the heads of families, the commanders of thousands and the hundreds, and their officers who served the king in all matters concerning the divisions that came and went, month after month throughout the year, each division numbering 24,000. Jashobeam, son of Zabdiel, was in charge of the first division in the first month. In his division were 24,000. He was a descendant of Perez, and was chief of all the commanders of the army for the first month. Dodai, the Ahoathite, was in charge of the division of the second month. Mikloth was the chief officer of his division. In his division were 24,000. The third commander for the third month was Benaiah, son of the priest, Jehoiada, as chief. In his division were 24,000. This is Benaiah, who was a mighty man of the 30 and in command of the 30. His son Ammizabad was in charge of his division. Ashael, brother of Joab, was fourth, for the fourth month, and his son Zebadiah after him. In his division were 24,000. The fifth commander for the fifth month was Shamhuth, the Israelite. In his division were 24,000. Sixth for the sixth month was Ira, son of Ikesh, the Tekoite. In his division were 24,000. Seventh for the seventh month was Helez, the Pelonite, of the Ephraimites. In his division were 24,000. Eighth for the eighth month was Sibbecai, the Hushathite, of the Zerathites. In his division were 24,000. Ninth for the ninth month was Abiezer, of Anathoth, a Benjamite. In his division were 24,000. 10th for the 10th month was Maharai of Netophah, of the Zerahites. In his division were 24,000. 11th for the 11th month was Benaiah of Pirathon. Of the Ephraimites, in his division were 24,000. 12th for the 12th month was Heldai the Neophyte of Othniel. In his division were 24,000. Over the tribes of Israel, for the Reubenites, Eleazar, son of Zikri, was the chief officer. For the Simeonites, Shephatiah, son of Macha. For Levi, Hashabiah, son of Kemuel. For Aaron, Zadok. For Judah, Elihu, one of David's brothers. For Issachar, Omri, son of Michael. For Zebulun, Ishmaiah, son of Obadiah. For Naphtali, Jerimoth, son of Azriel. For the Ephraimites, Hoshea, son of Azaziah. For the half-tribe of Manasseh, Joel, son of Pedaiah. For the half-tribe of Manasseh in Gilead, Iddo, son of Zechariah. For Benjamin, Jasaiel, son of Abner. For Dan, Azarel, son of Jeroham. These were the leaders of the tribes of Israel. David did not count those below 20 years of age, for the Lord had promised to make Israel as numerous as the stars of heaven. Joab, son of Zeruiah, began to count them, but did not finish. Yet wrath came upon Israel for this, and the number was not entered into the account of the annals of King David. Over the king's treasury was Azmaveth, son of Adael. Over the treasuries in the country, in the cities, in the villages, and in the towers was Jonathan, son of Uzziah. Over those who did the work of the field, tilling the soil, was Ezri, son of Chelub. Over the vineyards was Shimei and Ramathite. Over the produce of the vineyards for the wine cellars was Zabdi the Shiphamite. Over the olive and sycamore trees in the Shalaf was Baal Hanan the Gederite. Over the stores of oil was Joash. Over the herds that pastured in Sharon was Shutray the Sharonite. Over the herds in the valleys was Shaphat, son of Adlai. Over the camels was Obli the Ishmaelite. Over the donkeys was Jediah the Meronothite. Over the flocks was Jaziz the Hagrite. All these were stewards of King David's property. Jonathan, David's uncle, was a counselor, being a man of understanding and a scribe. Jehiel, son of Hachmoni, attended the king's sons. Ahithophel was the king's counselor, and Hushai the Archite was the king's friend. After Ahithophel came Jehadiah, son of Benaiah, and Abithar. Joab was commander of the king's army. Take care. God bless. I'll see you next time.